If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. But in the modern world, the battle is not physical, it is psychological. Most people are walking through life blindfolded. They project their own insecurities onto others. They are easily read, easily triggered, and easily controlled. To be psychologically superior means to take off the blindfold. It means seeing the strings that move the puppets. Today, we install the operating system of the elite. Niccolò Machiavelli is here to teach you the predator's gaze, how to read hidden intentions and mask your own. Marcus Aurelius is here to teach you the sovereign mind, how to detach from the chaos and stand above the game. Quick check. If you are ready to stop guessing and start knowing, subscribe now. Let's decode the human mind.
Marcus, the average man walks through life blindfolded. He listens to words. He believes promises. He sees a smile and thinks, friend. He sees a tear and thinks, sadness. This is not innocence. It is negligence. To be psychologically superior, you must stop listening to the noise coming out of their mouths and start reading the code of their desires. Words are designed to hide reality. Actions, and more importantly, incentives, reveal it. The first rule of X-ray vision is this: ignore the speech. Look at the stake. When a man advises you, ask yourself, what does he gain if I follow his advice? If the answer is nothing, listen. If the answer is profit, status, or control, discard the words. He is not advising you. He is selling to you. Most people are puppets, moved by two strings, greed and fear. If you can identify which string is pulling them in the moment, you can predict their next move with mathematical precision. You don't need to be a psychic. You just need to follow the money or the ego.
You reduce the complexity of the human soul to a transaction, Niccolò. You see men as vending machines. Insert coin, get reaction. It is a useful model for the marketplace, perhaps, but it blinds you to the deeper truths. The reason we fail to read people is not because we trust their words too much. It is because we trust our own judgments too much. We project. When a liar looks at an honest man, he sees a liar. When a fearful man looks at a brave man, he sees a reckless fool. We paint the world with the colors of our own internal state.
To have X-ray vision, you must first clean the lens. You must achieve the view from nowhere. Strip away your desire for them to like you. Strip away your fear of them hurting you. Look at them as if you were a scientist observing an ant. When you remove your emotion from the equation, their emotion becomes blindingly obvious. You see them naked. You see that their arrogance is just fear. You see that their kindness is just a transaction. You do not need to be cynical to see the truth. You just need to be empty.
Empty, a dangerous state. I prefer to be focused.
Let us give the student a practical tool. How do you spot the liar, the traitor, the snake? You look for the mismatch. The human brain is evolutionarily designed to tell the truth. Lying is hard work. It requires energy. When someone lies, their body rebels. Watch the feet. A man smiling at you with his face, but his feet are pointed at the door, wants to leave. He is lying about his interest. Watch the timing. A real emotion happens instantly. A fake emotion happens a split second too late. If they smile after they realize they should smile, it is a mask. But the ultimate X-ray technique is the stress test. If you suspect someone is hiding something, do not ask them directly. They will just lie better. Instead, drop a sudden, unrelated piece of bad news. or make a sudden, false accusation about a third party. Watch their micro-reaction in that first second of shock. Does their mask slip? Do they look relieved? Do they look guilty? Pressure reveals the cracks in the porcelain. A psychologically superior man knows exactly where to apply the pressure to see what leaks out.
You poke the beast to see if it bites. It is effective, but it is intrusive. There is a dignified way to read a soul, the pattern of nature. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. Why? Because that is their nature. I do not need to stress test a fig tree to know it produces figs. If a man has a history of gossip, he is a gossiper. Do not expect him to keep your secret. If a man has a history of betrayal, he is a traitor. Do not expect loyalty. The failure of intelligence happens when we refuse to believe the pattern. We think, he will be different with me. This is vanity. He will not be different. He will be exactly who he has always been. X-ray vision is simply the refusal to be surprised by the inevitable. If you see a snake, expect poison. If you see a puppy, expect play. Stop projecting your hope onto their nature.
He will not be different. On this, we agree perfectly. Past behavior is the only reliable predictor of future behavior. But Marcus, people hide their past. They reinvent themselves. They wear the mask of the reformer. To see through this, you must look at the shadow. Everyone has a shadow, the dark desires they suppress to fit into society. The nice guy suppresses his rage. The saint suppresses her lust. The psychologically superior man looks for the leakage of the shadow. Look at what they joke about. Jokes are often truth wrapped in a smile. Just kidding is the coward's way of speaking the truth. Look at how they treat people who have no power. The waiter, the cleaner, the subordinate. A man who is charming to you, the king, but cruel to the waiter, the peasant, is not a kind man. He is a transactional man. He is kissing the ring only because it is gold. Once you see this, you possess him. You know that his loyalty is conditional, and you can prepare for the moment the condition changes.
That is a sharp observation. The treatment of the powerless is the truest test of character. But there is another layer. You look for their shadow to exploit it. I look for their shadow to forgive it. Not to trust them, but to detach from them. When I see that a man is driven by a deep, suppressed insecurity, his insults lose their sting. I do not get angry at a wounded dog for barking. I see the wound. This makes me superior, not because I am better than him, but because I am not reactive to him. He is trapping himself in his own pathology. I am free. The ultimate X-ray vision is to see that most people are not evil. They are just broken, scared, and operating on automatic pilot. When you realize this, you stop taking their games personally. And when you stop taking things personally, you become untouchable.
Forgiveness suggests you are letting them go. I say, keep them, but put them in a cage. Once you identify their pathology, their wound, as you call it, you have the key. If a man is insecure about his intellect, praise his mind. He will eat out of your hand. If a man is insecure about his status, treat him like a VIP. He will kill for you. Once you see this, you possess him. You know that his loyalty is conditional, and you can prepare for the moment the condition changes.
That is a sharp observation. The treatment of the powerless is the truest test of character. But there is another layer. You look for their shadow to exploit it. I look for their shadow to forgive it. Not to trust them, but to detach from them. When I see that a man is driven by a deep, suppressed insecurity, his insults lose their sting. I do not get angry at a wounded dog for barking. I see the wound. This makes me superior, not because I am better than him, but because I am not reactive to him. He is trapping himself in his own pathology. I am free.
The ultimate X-ray vision is to see that most people are not evil. They are just broken, scared, and operating on automatic pilot. When you realize this, you stop taking their games personally. And when you stop taking things personally, you become untouchable.
Forgiveness suggests you are letting them go. I say, keep them, but put them in a cage.
Once you identify their pathology, their wound, as you call it, you have the key. If a man is insecure about his intellect, praise his mind. He will eat out of your hand. If a man is insecure about his status, treat him like a VIP. He will kill for you. X-ray vision allows you to feed their hunger so precisely that they become addicted to you. You become the source of the one thing they cannot give themselves. That is not just reading intentions, Marcus. That is rewriting them. That is the power of a god.
It is the power of a drug dealer. You create addicts, not allies. And addicts turn on you when the supply runs dry. But for the student who wishes to see clearly, the instruction is simple. Stop listening to the story they tell. Watch the feet. Watch the money. Watch the history. And above all, watch yourself. If you desperately want to believe them, you are already blind.
Exactly. Hope is the cataract of the eye. Remove hope, and you will see reality. And reality is a weapon. Use it. We have learned to see through them. Now, we must ensure they cannot see through us. The greatest danger to a superior man is his own shine. When you are intelligent, competent, and ambitious, you emit a light that hurts the eyes of the mediocre. It reminds them of their own failure. And what do men do when the light hurts their eyes? They try to extinguish it. To be psychologically superior, you must master the art of camouflage. Never outshine the master. Never appear too perfect. If you walk into a room and display all your talents, you trigger the immune system of the herd. They will unite to destroy you out of pure envy. You must cloak your power. Appear harmless. Appear slightly confused. Ask for help even when you know the answer. When people think you are harmless, they lower their shields. They speak freely around you. They do not see you as a threat. And that is exactly when the predator strikes, when the prey is grazing, thinking it is safe.
You advise the student to dim his light so the moths do not get angry. It is a strategy of fear, Niccolò. You are playing small to appease the small. However, I agree with the diagnosis. Vanity is a trap. The man who needs to show off his intelligence is not superior. He is needy. He is begging for applause. Look at me. Look how smart I am. True superiority is silent competence. I do not hide my light to trick them. I simply do not feel the need to flash it in their faces. I am indifferent to their applause. The sun does not scream, "I am hot." It just burns. If you are truly superior, you do not need to perform. Your presence alone is heavy. The silence of a man who knows he is capable is far more intimidating than the chatter of a man trying to prove it.
Intimidating? Yes, but sometimes, Marcus, intimidation is a disadvantage. If they fear you too early, they build walls. I want them to open the gates. Let us teach them the law of the false flaw. If you are too perfect, people hate you. They cannot relate to you. They suspect you are a robot or a liar. To control them, you must fabricate a small weakness. Admit to a bad habit. Confess a minor mistake. I'm terrible at math, or I have a sweet tooth. When you reveal a small flaw, two things happen. They feel superior to you in that one area, which feeds their ego. They trust you more because you seem honest. You give them a small victory. You let them win the pawn, so they don't notice you are capturing their queen. It is a small tax to pay for total dominance.
You construct a character like a playwright. Insert a flaw here to make the protagonist likable. It is manipulative and it is exhausting. Why not simply be human? You do not need to fabricate a flaw, Niccolò. You have flaws. We all do. The superior man is not afraid of his imperfections. He owns them. If I make a mistake, I admit it, not to disarm them, but because I love the truth more than I love my reputation. This paradoxically creates the ultimate status. A man who can say, "I was wrong," without shame, is a man who fears nothing. Most people terrify themselves trying to hide their cracks. When you expose yours with dignity, you show that you are unbreakable. You take away their ammunition. They cannot use your flaw against you if you have already placed it on the table.
Owning the flaw is good, but underestimation is the ultimate weapon. There is no greater advantage in war or business than being underestimated. Look at the fool archetype, the court jester. He can say things to the king that the generals cannot. Why? Because he is not seen as a threat. If you are in a negotiation, let them think you are a bit slow. Let them think you are desperate. They will get lazy. They will get greedy. They will offer terms that reveal their true bottom line because they think you are too stupid to notice. And then, when the contract is on the table, you drop the mask. You reveal that you understood everything. The look of shock on their faces is worth more than gold. You switch from prey to predator in 1 second. That creates a psychological trauma they will never forget.
It is effective, I grant you, but it requires you to debase yourself. To play the fool is to insult your own reason. I prefer the void of validation. Most interactions are a game of ping-pong with egos. You boast, I boast. You seek approval, I give approval. To be psychologically superior, simply stop playing. When someone tries to impress you, do not be impressed. Do not be mean, just be unimpressed. Give them a blank look. When someone tries to provoke you, be unprovoked. You become a black hole for their ego. They throw their best tricks at you and you swallow them without reaction. This forces them to work harder. They start dancing faster, trying to get a reaction out of you. They become the entertainer, and you become the audience. The audience is always in a higher position than the entertainer. You sit back, you watch, you judge. That is true camouflage. You are hiding in plain sight, right behind your own silence.
The audience, I like that. But the audience eventually leaves the theater. The actor gets paid. However, there is a danger in camouflage: invisibility. If you hide too well, you are forgotten. You are passed over. The trick is to be selectively visible. You are the gray rock for 29 days of the month. You are boring. You are safe. But on the 30th day, you do something brilliant. You solve the crisis that no one else could solve. You deliver the result that saves the company. This contrast amplifies your power. If the sun shone 24 hours a day, we would take it for granted. It is the night that makes the day valuable. Use your mediocrity to make your moments of brilliance blind them. Strike like lightning, out of nowhere with immense power, and then vanish back into the clouds.
On this, we align. Consistency in character, but surprise in capability. But remember, the goal of camouflage is not just to trick others. It is to protect your peace. Fame is a noise. Attention is a distraction. The man who is constantly in the spotlight is constantly under attack. Live hidden, said Epicurus. While the stars are burning out from the pressure of maintaining their image, the hidden man is building his empire in the shade. He has time to think. He has time to grow. He is not exhausted by the performance. When you do not care if they see you, you see everything. Your anonymity is your armor. Do not trade it for cheap applause.
Armor is heavy, Marcus, but a cloak allows you to move freely. Wear the cloak of the common man. Speak their language. Dress like them. But keep a dagger under the cloak. Because eventually, the time for hiding ends, and the time for cutting begins.
Keep the dagger if you must. I will keep my reason, for the sharpest weapon is not the one you hold in your hand, but the one you hold in your skull. Be invisible not because you are afraid, but because you are watching.
And while you watch, I will act. We have observed them. We have hidden from them. Now, Marcus, the time comes when we must break them. Eventually, you will find yourself in a conflict, a negotiation, an argument, a power struggle. The nice guy tries to win with logic. He brings facts. He brings charts. He loses because humans are not logical. They are hierarchical. To be psychologically superior, you do not attack the argument. You attack the frame. The law of the question. He who asks the questions controls the conversation. He who answers is the subordinate. If someone attacks you, never defend yourself. Defense is weakness. Instead, pivot immediately with a question that questions their stability. If they scream at you, ask calmly, "Are you okay? You seem very emotional right now." Boom! You have shifted the frame. Now they are the crazy one, and you are the rational judge. They have to defend their sanity. You have dismantled them without stating a single fact.
You use words as traps, Niccolò. You turn conversation into a gladiator pit. But I admit, the man who defends himself against a false accusation validates the accusation. However, your technique of gaslighting their emotions is cruel. It creates madness. I prefer the fogging technique. When someone attacks me with sharp words, I do not become a hard wall for them to hit. I become a fog. I absorb the blow, and it passes through me. If they say, "Marcus, you are lazy and arrogant," I reply, "You might be right. I have been arrogant in the past." I agree with them in principle. What happens? They stumble. They prepared for a fight, for resistance. When I give them no resistance, they fall forward by their own weight. I disarm them not by questioning their sanity, but by agreeing with the possibility of my own flaw. It takes all the wind out of their sails.
You might be right? That is submissive. You are agreeing with the insult. No, you must dominate the reality. Let us talk about frame control. Every interaction has a frame, a hidden rule of who is in charge. If I go to your office, I am in your frame. If you try to impress me, you are in my frame. To dismantle an opponent, you must shatter their frame. Do something unpredictable. If they are screaming, start eating an apple. If they are serious, start laughing. If they are rushing you, slow down to a crawl. By refusing to follow their rhythm, you signal that you are the prize. You set the tempo. The superior mind is never reactive. It forces the world to react to it. Break their pattern, and their brain will reboot. In that moment of confusion, you insert your command.
You break their pattern to confuse them. I maintain my pattern to stabilize myself. But we arrive at the same conclusion. Do not react. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. If they are screaming and I start eating an apple to mock them, I am still reacting. I am performing a show for them. True superiority is indifference. Not the performed indifference of the actor, but the genuine lack of interest in their drama. If a child throws a tantrum, does the father mock the child? No. He continues reading his book. Be the father. When you treat an adult adversary like a tantrum-throwing child, you do not need to shatter their frame. You simply step over it. Your silence in the face of their noise is the ultimate assertion of hierarchy. It says, your chaos cannot enter my citadel.
Silence is good, but sometimes you need a knife. Let us teach them the double bind. This is how you win arguments before they start. You give them two choices, but both choices lead to your victory. A salesman asks, do you want to sign now or after lunch? He doesn't ask, do you want to sign? In a conflict, you say, do you want to apologize now and fix this? Or do you want to continue yelling and prove that you are unprofessional? Choice A, they apologize. You win. Choice B, they keep yelling, but now they have admitted to being unprofessional. You win. You trap them in a logic loop where their only exit is submission. This is how the superior mind navigates. You do not hope for a good outcome. You engineer the path so all roads lead to Rome.
You treat human beings like rats in a maze. Go left or go right, you still get the cheese. It is clever, I grant you, but it assumes they are stupid. If you try a double bind on a free man, he will see the trap. He will reject both choices. He will flip the table. I do not trap people. I offer him the mirror of consequence. I show him the future. If you continue on this path, you will lose my trust. Is that what you want? I lay the consequence out plainly. No tricks, no false choices. I treat them as an agent with free will. Here is the cliff. You can jump or you can step back. It is your choice.
This creates a deeper kind of authority. They know I am not manipulating them. I am merely informing them of the law of cause and effect. And if they choose to jump, I let them fall.
I push them. But there is one final layer to superiority, the withdrawal of supply.
What does an opponent want most? Attention, validation, a reaction. The moment you realize someone is playing a game with you, you must starve the beast. The ghost protocol. Do not argue. Do not explain. Disappear. Withdraw your presence, your resources, and your attention instantly. Nothing dismantles a narcissist or a manipulator faster than the realization that they have become invisible to you. Their power exists only in relation to you. Without you, they are a king without a kingdom. Make them irrelevant. That is the ultimate destruction.
On this, the fox and the stoic stand together. We call it the discipline of assent. I refuse to grant my mind's attention to unworthy things. If you are toxic, you do not exist in my world. Not because I hate you, but because I am busy cultivating virtue. I do not ghost to punish you. I leave to protect my peace. The intent is different, Niccolò, but the action is the same. The superior man does not engage in petty wars. He transcends them. He walks away. And in his walking away, he shows that he has somewhere better to be.
That is the only victory that matters. To be so full of your own purpose that their games look like children playing with mud.
Purpose is fine, but never forget to look back and smile as they drown in the mud. A little contempt is good for the soul.
Listen, student, they want to drag you down. They want you to argue, to defend, to explain. Don't. Ask questions, break frames, use silence, and if all else fails, vanish. Let them fight your ghost.
Let them fight themselves. You have work to do. Be superior not by crushing them, but by being something they can never be, free.
The debate is closed. You have received the operating system of the elite. Machiavelli handed you the offense: how to use X-ray vision to read incentives, camouflage to lower their defenses, and frame control to dismantle their attacks. Marcus Aurelius handed you the defense: how to remove your own projections, find power in being the audience, and achieve the ultimate superiority, not needing their validation. Psychological superiority is not about being the loudest person in the room. It is about being the one who sees the board clearly while everyone else is distracted by the pieces. See everything, react to nothing, control the outcome. If you are ready to elevate your mind above the herd, subscribe. We are building an empire of sovereign minds. Now, I want to hear your verdict. Is true superiority found in controlling others or in controlling yourself? Who won this debate? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let the discussion begin. Dismissed.